Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting News 22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
Tonight on News 22, a tragic plane accident takes the life of a beloved Albuquerque civic leader.
Andrea Vasquez gives us an inside look at one of NMSU's oldest and overlooked buildings.
And Abraham Ramos shows you how volunteer organizations need help.
All that and more on News 22 Wednesday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Victoria Valderrama.
And I'm Amanda Adame. Many people in Albuquerque are mourning this evening. A well-loved civic leader is dead after a freak accident.
Jennifer Reardon was on commercial airline when an engine exploded and shattered the window next to her seat. KRQE's Chris McKee talked to people who knew her.
For you, she was there for everybody. It's a big loss for everyone.
A mother of two, a volunteer, and a leader in New Mexico. It's how people are remembering Jennifer Reardon, the Albuquerque woman who was killed this morning during a bizarre accident on a Southwest Airlines flight bound for Dallas, where an engine exploded.
We're all going to miss her dearly.
Alice Garza knew Reardon for a decade, meeting her when she started as the community relations manager for Wells Fargo in New Mexico. Alice and Jennifer were both appointed to the state's Community Volunteerism Commission.
She wanted the best, for this town, this state. And if you were saying, Jennifer, I'm struggling with this, she says, well, how can I help you?
The help she gave also reached the local Catholic Church.
Probably one of the most positive people that I ever met in my life.
Ed Larrañaga is president of the Catholic Foundation for the Archdiocese of Santa Fe. He recruited Jennifer 3 years ago to serve on the foundation's board.
You know true sincerity when it's put into action, and that was Jennifer. Jennifer wanted to put things into action. She really wanted to show how she could make a difference, and she really wanted to get involved with that. Although it is a tragic loss, I know that people are better for having known her.
There were 149 people on board the flight. Several others were injured. U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich says he's heartbroken over Jennifer Reardon's death. He calls her one of New Mexico's very best and a pillar of the Albuquerque community. He says we should all follow her example to inspire and leave a positive and lasting impact, and continue to keep her husband and 2 children in our thoughts.
So it was such a nice day today here in Las Cruces. There was hardly any wind.
I know, and these are my favorite kind of days, and Selena is next to tell us more with weather.
Thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and talk some current conditions. It was a great day here in Las Cruces. Right now we're seeing those clear skies with a temperature of 77 degrees. Winds are coming at 2 miles per hour from the south. Humidity is at 11% with a dew point at 22 degrees and a barometer at 29.93 inches. Moving on, today we did hit a high of 81 degrees with an overnight low of 52. We were way above average at 81 degrees. Taking it back in time to the year 1987, we hit a high temperature of 91 degrees, and in 1976 we hit a low of 30. There's no rain today, and that's all I have for right now. I'll be back later with your national forecast. Back to you at the desk.
A national forest in southwestern New Mexico along with the Arizona border is on high fire danger. Warmer temperatures and high spring winds are increasing fire danger on the Gila National Forest. Forecasters are warning of dangerous, life-threatening wildfire conditions. The Storm Prediction Center in Oklahoma says gusty winds and low humidity in drought-stricken areas will create dangerous fire conditions in parts of Colorado, Kansas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas.
If you need a new registration sticker for your car, you may have to wait a while. The Motor Vehicle Division has run out of the special paper required to print them. It was confirmed yesterday that the division ran out because the contract for the paper provider expired. Action was taken immediately and the contract has been renewed. All new registration stickers will be mailed out by the end of the month to those who were affected. Law enforcement officers have been notified and are aware of the issue. Las Cruces public schools are having to deal with 4 administrators who do not have the proper license for their jobs. 3 administrators hold no license at all, and 1 does not hold the kind of license her title requires. This was found through an online database maintained by LCPS to check the license of 37 of the top administrators. A spokesperson for the district says all the individuals are in the process of applying for the needed credentials. If you've heard the term sick building, you know it means that there's problems with the buildings that are being affected.
News 22's Andrea Vasquez shows us how important buildings here, an important building here on campus, and that many say is sick.
Hundreds of students go through Milton Hall every day. Milton is home to the Departments of Journalism and English, as well as the Creative Media Institute and the KRWG Public Television. Carol Gray knows that the building has problems. She's administrative assistant in the journalism department. Coming to work literally makes her sick.
It feels like there's mold or some kind of issue in this building because since I've started, every day when I get here I'm very stuffy. Not at home when I get here, but every morning. You know, I'm coughing, have some congestion in this building.
Milton was built in the late 1940s. Over time, it developed all the problems of an old building: sewage backup, flooding problems, mold, asbestos, and rusty pipes. In some respects, Milton is the heart of the campus. The servers holding the data for the whole campus are here, as are the satellite dishes for the radio and TV stations.
One of the biggest issues when Milton Hall is finally demolished is where all the equipment will go. It would have to be moved temporarily during construction, then moved permanently in new building. All these factors play into part to the university's master plan.
Where Milton Hall falls in the master plan, it is listed on our consider for demolition list. At some point when we're ready and we have either funding to build a new building or to relocate the groups that are in there, we would go through that whole research at that time. So I can say with pretty good confidence it's not going to happen in the next 10 years.
Until then, we can only hope that 70-year-old Milton can last a little longer. With News 22, I'm Andrea Vasquez.
An event focused on school safety and gun violence is happening in El Paso for its second year. It's called the Second Student Forum, Keeping Our Schools Safe. State Senator Jose Rodriguez is joining with the Youth Advisory Committee and UTEP and EBCC Student Government. It will be at the El Paso Community College Administrative Service Center tomorrow from 6 to 8. Students can question community leaders in an effort to take action around gun-related violence in schools. The Las Cruces Police Department is inviting residents to have coffee with a cop this Saturday at the Target store on Loman Avenue from 1 to 4 p.m. Coffee with a Cop is a free event hosted by Target. Las Cruces residents will be able to meet with local police officers and share any law enforcement concerns they may have, as well as the opportunity to bring children for a free Ident-a-Child card that includes a photo, fingerprints, and other identifiable information that can be used in case of an emergency.
Yesterday was the deadline for U.S. citizens to file their federal income tax returns, and it seems there is a divide in the country's government. Congressman Steve Pierce released a statement yesterday praising the Republican Party's recent tax cuts and Job Act for helping middle and lower income families in New Mexico. While Republicans celebrate what they feel is a victory, Democrats criticize the tax plan for being a short-term solution to the financial problems facing the U.S. and are alert to what they feel is an overall unfair tax plan. The Postal Service is providing assurances that it is committed to providing full services in Pie Town, a tiny New Mexico western community where the current post office is closing. Postal Service spokesman says operations are being temporarily suspended at the current location because of a loss of lease, but he says officials are working to move services to a new location. He also says officials are working with residents to identify a place for temporary group mailbox to serve post office boxes customers in the meantime. And stay tuned, Selena will be back with your national forecast.
But first, Abraham Ramos introduces you to some of the organizations that are looking for a helping hand. More on that when News 22 continues.
At a recent KRWG coffee visit, we talked with KRWG fans about why they value public media.
The fact that you're here in TRC says a lot to me, that you're interested in our community.
KRWG is my major source of information and entertainment.
Please support public radio. If not for yourself, do it for me.
Become a member online at krwg.org or call 1-888-922-5794. Thank you.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
I left my heart. I can count on the fingers of one hand the people who have shaped my life.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station. Sign in and start streaming today.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Wednesday,
where news matters. When it comes to volunteering, there are always organizations looking for extra help.
News 22's Abraham Mamos is here with the story.
Bernice Costello has been volunteering at St. Albert the Great Newman Center's Lunch Bunch for the past 3 years. Lunch Bunch is for students and others to come and get a full course meal for only $2 every day of the week during the school year. This includes a salad, a main entree, and dessert. All of this is made possible by volunteers of the church.
We have our everyday groups of certain volunteers are on certain days, and so it's not very hard to get volunteers.
With great help, Lunch Bunch has a great team working with them. Although it may be easy for St. Albert the Great Newman Center to get and keep their volunteers, that's not the same case for other volunteer organizations. This year's Volunteer Fair was the 7th annual. It is an event where 50 organizations come out to look for a helping hand due to the difficulty they may sometimes encounter when it comes to finding volunteers.
I think it's always hard to find volunteers and keep volunteers. I think that's the big thing. Helping to keep people engaged, helping people to get connected to their passion. I think that's all really important.
Organizations set up their booths and gave out information about what they're all about in hopes that they will match with someone's passion. Events like these increase their chances of finding volunteers that will stay. If you enjoy volunteering, you didn't have to attend the fair to become one. Organizations are always looking for volunteers because giving is a two-way street.
That was Abraham Ramos reporting. There are a lot more organizations to choose from and offer a helping hand than the 50 who showed up to the volunteer fair. New Mexico State University is celebrating its 130th anniversary. The 4th annual Founders Day celebration will be on Friday from 11 to 1 at the Traders Plaza, just south of the business complex. NMSU will celebrate the history of the Aggies and the school's accomplishments. The theme of this year's event is to celebrate the musical traditions of NMSU, including the Pride of New Mexico Marching Band and the Aggie Fight Song. Band members will show off their new uniforms as well as the different uniforms they've worn over the past 40 years. Everyone is encouraged to attend.
April is STD Awareness Month, and today in the Corbett Student Center, students could get free HIV testing. The screenings were done by the Alancia of New Mexico, an organization formed to help those living with or affected by HIV. They also want to bring awareness to students to practice safe sex on campus. They recommend HIV testing every 6 to 12 months for people who are sexually active.
A lot of college students are at higher risk for HIV, STDs, so they have lack of education of knowing what to be aware of, and so I feel like that they are our highest risk right now.
Alianza gave away free condoms and handed out educational brochures. An NMSU alumna will discuss rural health care with faculty and students. Tara Jaramillo founded Positive Outcomes Incorporation. She will visit the campus tomorrow to speak to students and faculty interested in rural health care. She will visit with students and faculty during a meet and greet in the Speech Building Conference Room. Jaramillo started Positive Outcomes Incorporation in 1999 and has provided auxiliary therapy to consolidated schools in Socorro, New Mexico for 20 years.
Packaged and liquid caffeine supplements can kill in high doses. The FDA is now acting to make sure this doesn't happen.
Here's Zach Covert with today's Health Minute.
Food and Drug Administration is cracking down on highly concentrated caffeine products and working to have them removed from stores, and warning consumers to stay away. They say powder and liquid dietary supplements with concentrated amounts of caffeine are a threat to public health and have already been linked to 2 deaths in the U.S. The FDA says some of these products can contain as much as 3,200 milligrams of caffeine, the equivalent of as much as 28 cups of coffee.
When they take what they think is a dose, it's 10, 15, 20 times what they're expecting.
In low doses, caffeine can help you get a jump start on your day, but too much caffeine can ruin it, causing an upset stomach, irritability, sleepless nights, and heart palpitations. And less than 2 tablespoons of some types of powdered pure caffeine can kill. Plus, even though caffeine may help boost weight loss, the Mayo Clinic says higher doses of caffeine won't result in better results. For today's Health Minute, I'm Zach Covert.
So today was a beautiful day, but I heard it's not quite the same in other places in the United States.
I heard the same thing, and Selena's next to tell us more with National Forecast.
Absolutely. We are experiencing a lot of crazy weather other than here. Check this map out. There are going to be some strong thunderstorms Friday through Saturday. Locally damaging gusty winds, hail downpours. So if you're in the Texas area, make sure you guys take cover. Moving on to our next map, we're going to take a look at some completely opposite weather. There's going to be snow returns Wednesday night through Thursday. Chicago, Detroit, Syracuse, New York, Montreal. Make sure you guys stay inside and stay out of that weather. And moving on to our next map, we're just going to go ahead and take a look at some temperatures around the United States. Minneapolis, you're at 38 degrees. Rapid City, 53. Denver, you're nice and warm at 58 degrees. Albuquerque, you're on the warmer side at 72 degrees. Phoenix, 84. Closer to home in El Paso, you're at 82 degrees. That is all I have for right now. After the break, I'll be back with some temperatures around our region. Keep it here.
We're shining the spotlight on ordinary people who are pursuing extraordinary lives.
From an adventure at 20,000 feet to a rebellious artist who says he will never stop working.
Dream big and live big, because anything is possible. Join us on the next Growing Bolder.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, what's the value of this Packers souvenir?
My parents had first row seats at the Ice Bowl, and after the game, my dad brought this home.
Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow from Green Bay.
Monday at 7 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
In my boyhood, Henry County, Kentucky was almost entirely a farming county.
Wendell Berry has been the voice of rural America and a champion for a way of life that is quickly disappearing.
Independence, thrift, stewardship, political liberty, family. I think when the traditional people disappear, the traditional values will disappear.
Look and see. Wendell Berry's Kentucky.
Monday at 9 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look at some temperatures around New Mexico. Winds are coming down and the weather is going up. Albuquerque, you're at 68 degrees. Socorro, 71. Ruidoso, 61. Here in Las Cruces, we're a lot warmer at 77 degrees. And in Deming, you are at 76. Moving on to tomorrow's temperatures, Farmington, 72 degrees. Santa Fe, 57. Clovis, 61. Ruidoso, 55. Las Cruces, a lot warmer at 79 degrees. And Deming, you are at 81 degrees. Alamogordo, you guys are going to be experiencing some clear skies tonight with a temperature of 49 degrees. Tomorrow, winds will pick up with a high of 77. Truth or consequences, clear skies tonight, temperature of 49 degrees. You'll be seeing some clouds in the forecast with a high of 82 tomorrow. Silver City, clear skies tonight with a temperature of 42. Tomorrow, there will be some clouds for you with a high of 76. And here in Las Cruces, we're going to also be seeing those clear skies with a low of 52. The winds are going to pick up a bit, but not too much, with a high of 83. That's all I have for right now. I'll be back later with your 5-day forecast. Back to you at the desk.
From her family to those in the political world, many are sharing words of praise and respect for former First Lady Barbara Bush, who died at the age of 92 last night.
Karen Kaifa is in Houston with her life and legacy being remembered.
Condolences, tributes, and memories pouring in for the former First Lady Barbara Bush, perhaps none more moving than from her family.
She taught us to serve others. She taught us to be civil.
She taught us to love your family with your heart and soul.
Former President George W. Bush sharing the memory of his final visit with his mother in an interview with Fox Business Network.
We had a wonderful visit. She was strong, lucid.
Funny still.
We ought to be joyful that we had such a wonderful woman in our lives.
The former First Lady, known for her devotion to family, her passion for universal literacy, and especially her sharp wit.
She and I were needling each other, and the doctor came in, and she turned to the doctor and said, "You want to know why George W. is the way he is?" And the doctor looked somewhat surprised. She said, "Because I drank and smoked when I was pregnant with him."
Born Barbara Pierce, she was raised in Rye, New York. And she was 16 when she met a young man at a Connecticut country club who would change her life, George Herbert Walker Bush.
I married the first man I ever kissed. You talk about a bore. I am the world's worst.
Married for 73 years, she was the mother of 6 children, grandmother to 17, great-grandmother to 7. Her incredible legacy will now live on through them.
I know that I'm the world's luckiest woman. I think if I sort of put it in a nutshell, these are the things that are important to me: faith, family, and friends.
I hear there's been some athletic budget cuts at UNM, and I wonder why that is.
Me too, and David Guest is here to tell us why with sports.
Thanks, Amanda. Top competitors from around the globe will be flocking to the land of enchantment this weekend. Don't go too far because News 22 Sports is next.
Next time on Call the Midwife.
It seems he may have been suffering from smallpox.
I need help, but you must keep it a secret.
I think everyone's gone out.
You said you didn't want any balloons or a welcoming committee. That's why we didn't tell them we were coming home.
She's suffering such anguish, so terrified of another forceps delivery that she doesn't want to give birth.
Eunice?
I'm not doing it, Kenny, I can't.
Thursday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
PBS Arts brings you some of Broadway's greatest talent in concert with Sutton Foster, Stephanie J. Block, Leslie Odom Jr., and Andrew Reynolds. It's 4 Friday nights of fantastic entertainment. PBS Arts and Live from Lincoln Center present Stars in Concert.
Friday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. David Guest here with the best. Let's talk sports. The Sunland Park Derby horse, Runaway Ghost, will miss the Kentucky Derby due to a shin injury. The injury occurred this past Saturday during a workout at the Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino. According to Runaway Ghost trainer, the injury is only a hairline fracture and will not require surgery. Runaway Ghost earned a spot in the Kentucky Derby with an impressive victory at the Sunland Derby in March. The horse was scheduled to leave for Louisville, Kentucky Tuesday, but will be staying to rest and recover. Ghost's injury means he will be replaced by another thoroughbred in the big dance. The University of New Mexico has announced the passing of an athletics budget that will include a reduction of sports in future years. Following a 6-1 vote by the UNM Board of Regents, $1.9 million are set to be saved. A decision from first-year athletic director Eddie Nunez on which sports could be cut is due by July 1st. Lobo Athletics have failed to balance their annual operating budget in 8 of the last 10 years. One of the sports that's been mentioned to be on the chopping block is the men's soccer program, which has played in 2 Final Fours, 1 national championship game, and been conference champions 7 times since 2001 under head coach Jeremy Fishbein. Head coach Brian Green and his Aggies have won 8 straight games. Aggie starter Justin Den made quick work of the Sul Ross Lobos in top of the first inning frame before the Crimson and White brought home 5 in the first half. The Aggies' 8 doubles on the day were the highest single game total since 2010 as the team recorded their 24th victory, 14-8. New Mexico State opens a 7-game road trip to close out the month of April this weekend with a 3-game series at the University of Northern Colorado. Today is the first day of the 32nd annual Tour de Gila. Riders started at the Go Park in Silver City. The race today was a point-to-point road race that also had a 3.8-mile climb up a very narrow, rough road. Tomorrow, racers will take on Stage 2, the Inner Loop Road Race. The Tour de Gila will end on Sunday, April 22nd. There are Olympians, a Grand Tour winner, and world champions competing for the coveted trophy bulls. Currently, Oscar Sanchez leads the men race with a time of 3 hours and 42 minutes, and Katie Hall leads all women with a 3 hour and 39-minute time. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Selena will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, one Hollywood director achieves a goal that is out of this world. Find out who when News 22 continues.
Next time on Call the Midwife.
I mean, it's just like the photo. It's perfect.
I could lose my children. I have no home. I have no means of making a living.
Phyllis! My friend, she's inside. Please help.
Sunday at 7 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
I'm Amy Holmes.
I'm Michael Gerson.
And this is In Principle,
a show to talk
and listen.
Join us for thoughtful discussion on important issues that influence your life.
Sunday morning at 9:30 on KRWG-TV.
Let's take a look at our top stories. A tragic plane accident took the life of one of New Mexico's best after an engine exploded, breaking her window and later killing her. Andrea Vasquez took us inside Milton Hall, one of the oldest buildings on campus that is in need of some serious improvements. Anna Brown Ramos showed us just one of the many organizations that need your help at the annual volunteer fair.
With the release of his most recent film, Ready Player One, director Steven Spielberg has made history. According to the Box Office Mojo, the film's earnings put Spielberg over the top as the first director ever whose movies have grossed more than $10 billion at box offices worldwide. Reporters state that 1993's Jurassic Park is still Spielberg's biggest success, adjusting for inflation. Spielberg started making waves in the movie biz with Jaws in 1975. He went on to create more films through the following decades.
So Selena, tell us about the 5-day.
Well, the next 5 days are looking great. High temperatures don't go any lower than 75 degrees. So we're going to see lots of sunshine in the forecast.
Cool.
Great.
And don't forget, you can catch all of our past newscasts on KRWG News 22. Thank you all for joining us. Good night. I'm Amanda Rame.
I'm Victoria Valderrama.
And I'm Selena Madrid. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a este breve informativo de Noticias 22. Yo soy Jazmín Anaya. Una mujer proveniente de Albuquerque, Nuevo México, falleció el día de ayer en un avión de la aerolínea Southwest Airlines. Según el reporte oficial, a la mitad del viaje entre Nueva York a Dallas, uno de los motores del avión falló, lanzando partes de la turbina en el fuselaje y el ala del avión. Como consecuencia, la ventana junto a la pasajera Jennifer Rioran se quebró despresurizando la cabina. La presión sacó parcialmente a Rioran, pero otros pasajeros lograron regresarla dentro de la cabina. Según una de los pasajeros en el avión, se le practicaron primeros auxilios a Rioran por aproximadamente 20 minutos, hasta que el avión aterrizó en Filadelfia y los paramédicos llegaron, pero Rioran no pudo ser resucitada. Afortunadamente no se perdieron más vidas gracias a las maniobras de aterrizaje de la piloto. La ex primera dama Barbara Bush falleció el día de ayer a los 92 años de edad. Bush fue diagnosticada con una enfermedad del sistema inmunológico en los años 80. También se confirmó que padecía de insuficiencia cardíaca congestiva. En los últimos días de su vida, la ex primera dama pidió detener su tratamiento para estar con su familia. La matriarca fue una de las primeras mujeres en la historia americana en ser esposa y madre de un presidente de la nación. La familia ha sido recibida con gran apoyo en este tiempo de duelo. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Para Noticias 22, Jazmín Anaya.
Local support for a portion of today's programming is provided by Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting News 22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.